Hi and welcome to Charcuterie Corner. This is where I use this part of my kitchen to whip up appetizers, finger foods, and sometimes with a special theme, and this theme is St. Patrick's Day. And of course, I have to show you the recipes that are involved. I can't wait to show you all that I whipped up. For now, I'm gonna give you the sneak peek of the final result, and then I'll show you a zoomed in at the end. All right, let's get into it, to our Charcuterie Corner. I'm going to be making a 3-ingredient appetizer, and it is going to be bacon wrapped water chestnuts with a smoked whiskey glaze. Simple 3 ingredients. Let's get into it. I'm going to cut my bacon in thirds, and then I'm going to wrap them, and then I'm going to glaze them. It's that easy. We're gonna air fry these in our Pampered Chef air fryer, and I'm gonna start off slow. I'm just gonna do it at 5 minutes and make sure, because that glaze could burn. So let's just do 5. And we'll come back and check on them. Okay, I flipped them over and now glazing the other side so that both sides are crispy. Putting them back in the air fryer for another 5 minutes. Perfect. They came out perfect. Let's get them out and cooled off. Put little toothpicks in them and serve them up. Next up, we're making a Reuben Dip. Now, to be a true Reuben Dip, you will use corned beef, but I couldn't find it in the deli section like I wanted, so I got pastrami. You just want that salty, briny, good kind of meat. I turn my pastrami slices into bite-sized pieces. I have my Pampered Chef Everyday Rock Crock pan here. So let's put all our pastrami with 8 ounces of sour cream, which is half of a large container. 2 cups, 14 ounces of sauerkraut, our block of cream cheese, our 2 cups of shredded Swiss, and for that tang, half a cup of our Thousand Island dressing. Everything's gonna melt in our slow cooker. Our everyday pan is now inserted into our Pampered Chef slow cooker base. I'm gonna add the lid and we're gonna go ahead and warm this up for 2 hours. Our Reuben Dip is all melted, nice and cheesy. It is ready to go into our serving dish. Next up, we're making Reuben sliders, and this time I can call it a Reuben because we're using corned beef. We're gonna put that along with half a can of Guinness beer in our slow cooker. We're gonna let that go on low for about 5 to 6 hours. The meat is gonna be so tender and perfect, and you end up with this wonderful, tender, beautifully seasoned, because you put the seasoned packet on top of your meat, and that's all you have to do. It comes in the packet with the brisket. So perfect. Now let's go ahead and start assembling our sliders. Before we layer our corned beef sliders, we're gonna make the butter, garlic, Parmesan topping. We're gonna start with half a stick of butter. And then we're gonna add to that a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. I am gonna add, this is something, it did call for poppy seeds, but caraway seeds are a lot of times what you see on Reubens, in the bread. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of that. I'm gonna microwave that for 30 seconds. While that's microwaving, we're gonna make our homemade Russian dressing, which is gonna be layered on the sliders. With a 1/3 cup of mayonnaise, 1½ tablespoons of ketchup, 1½ teaspoons of horseradish, that's prepared horseradish, and 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Let's give that a good stir. It is a homemade, first of all, so we can use our lower calorie or lower sugar ingredients. Also, we've had this prepared horseradish, and I'm always looking for ways to use it up. It makes a great cocktail sauce. But now, knowing I could also use it in Russian dressing, it is going to be used more often. Let's assemble our sliders. Starting with our Aldi package of Hawaiian rolls. Before I layer on my corned beef, I'm actually going to put the bottom of this, and check this out. A full package of Hawaiian rolls fit perfectly on your air fryer, Pampered Chef air fryer wire rack. Isn't that fantastic? So now you know if you're in a hurry or you're just making enough for your family, you're not doing, you know, a bunch for a party, or even if you are and you want to free up your oven, use your Pampered Chef air fryer. So great. Okay, so I put the bottom here and now I'm going to layer. We have our corned beef that we cooked in our slow cooker. Next is our cheese. Now our sauerkraut. I squeezed and drained my sauerkraut to get out all the moisture because you do not want to end up with soggy sliders. I'm going to add more of our corned beef and more Swiss cheese. Knowing I put all those layers on here, I decided I didn't need more sauce, so I whipped up another batch of our Russian dressing. Now we'll put that on top. Now let's take our melted butter Dijon mixture. Ready for our air fryer, but I am gonna actually bake them in our air fryer because I don't want them to get too dried out and too brown. So I'm gonna put them on the lower rack in the air fryer on bake, and then I'm gonna cover them with tin foil and finish them off. That way all that cheese inside melts and the meat gets warmed up without browning our tops too much. Out of the air fryer after baking for about 10 minutes, and look how golden brown they look. Slice them up and they're ready to eat. I added more of the butter mixture on top because I had some left and I just like the flavor so much, and I like how it glistens and makes it just look so good and so rich, so I added it on top. I also added a few more caraway seeds on top just for a little crunch and a little color. These looked and smelled so amazing. I had to have one myself. I couldn't wait any longer. That is one of the best sliders I think I've ever had. I love the combination of flavors. The tangy of the sauerkraut, the buttery Dijon, the corned beef is amazing. This is going to be a hit on our charcuterie corner and in our appetizer spread. I highly recommend making these. We're now going to make our Guinness beer cheese dip. We're gonna heat up a saucepan and melt 3 tablespoons of butter. We're now gonna add 3 tablespoons of flour. Now gonna add 1 cup of our Guinness beer. And have you seen my whisk? Look at this whisk by Pampered Chef. I just absolutely love it. It opens so you can grab things, but then it collapses with your little button here to then be a whisk. I love it. Next, we're gonna add our 1 cup of milk. Let's go ahead and add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Let's add half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of paprika, a dash of Worcestershire sauce. Now we're ready for our 3 cups of cheddar shredded cheese. This is sharp cheddar. Okay, our cheese is fully melted. Let's go ahead and turn it off the heat. It'll thicken as it cools just a little bit. We're ready to serve that up. Speaking of serving up, it is time to assemble our charcuterie corner. Everything is complete. We are feeling lucky and we're ready to dig in. Before we dig in, here's a recap of everything I made and everything I purchased to put this all together. The napkins and the clover sticks and my feeling lucky sign all came from Aldi or the Dollar Tree. Most of the food here came from Aldi, and you could see that in my previous video from the Aldi haul. Here is our pastrami Swiss cheese dip along with our beer cheese dip on the charcuterie board of meats and cheeses, and our Reuben sliders and our bacon wrapped water chestnuts. And don't forget these two little guys. I think they're the perfect touch. And some little pots filled with gold coins, which next time will be little chocolates instead of plastic coins, because everybody tried to eat these. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click the like button and be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much. See you on the next video.